Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of TED Excellence, the show where I'm my own boss. And so are you. And so are you. Everybody's a boss, I guess. And I come to you live from my moon base in Crater Valley on the moon with Dog Cat Fox, a Pepperjack, and all of you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome again to Thursday. Tempestuous Thursday. Yes, we return once again to the wonderful world of off-brand TED Talks. And before I can even begin, holy cats, Derek LaRue, thank you again so much, as always, your continued support and generosity. I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope the show meets with your approval. Thank you so much. But yeah, before I get into it, who's joining me on this red letter day of Thursday? Because why not? Noah Asensio, hello. John Miller, hello. Shell D, hello. Kiever Dam. And let me post those fundraisers up to the top of the chat box there. I'll get to those in a second. JMK, hello. Somnamnial Nation, hello. Funtime Bats, hello. Zero the Hero 909, hello. Mike R, hello. Resolute Germ, hello. Attack Alpaca, hello. Who else is here? Seftus Wolf, hello. Ercole De Stefano, hello. Super Koopa TV, hello. Pissed Off Shih Tzu, hello. And is that everybody so far I see? I think that's everybody I see. If I've missed you, if you're lurking, or if you're in the future, hello. But yes, up at the top of the chat box real quick, we have 3 fundraisers for friends of the show. Let's see. First and foremost, we have Moonshock, and then Angry Illinoisian, and then lastly, we have a new one for longtime viewer Alyssa. And Alyssa is needing some assistance in paying for some bills and things because of some, life hardships that befell her. So to take a look at those, the third one is the most recent one. If you take a look at that one in particular, if you can't donate, that's perfectly fine. If you can share those out on social media, that'd be very much appreciated. Thank you so much ahead of time. But yeah, so tonight, because tonight is the night when everyone's a CEO. Why making every employee CEO will transform business as we know it. Boy, howdy, you're not kidding. I said this on the Discord chat prior to the show, but there's I have 2 theories on where we might be going with this statement. Either our speaker is going to be promoting the idea of employee-owned businesses, which isn't a new concept and, has been tried and attempted in several places before and with varying degrees of success, which would be, okay, but not all that interesting, depending on how he pitches it, I suppose. Or he literally means in some way that I can't quite understand how it would work, that every employee does just have the title of CEO, and somehow that is supposed to function. But yes, if you actually did make every employee the chief executive officer, it would transform business as we know it. Because if you eliminate hierarchy, if you eliminate the delegation of labor one to another, if everybody is responsible only to themselves in a business, I'm not quite sure how that's supposed to function. But maybe that's the genius idea our speaker has. I don't know. We'll find out together. The bingo card for tonight is bingo card A. A as in Attack Alpaca. First thing I saw with an A in it, sure. Links to the bingo cards are in the description below. Let's see. This one runs... How long is that? 11 minutes, 17 seconds. Oh, also, yeah, the bingo card. So the bingo card is selected every week when I remember to do so through a posted poll on my Twitter feed that you can participate in once a week if you'd like. You can follow me on Twitter at @scribe_light. Those run every week. You can choose or help to choose what bingo card we go with. And I think that's everything. Any other hellos to give? Did I say hello to A2P? If I didn't, hello. But all right, let's get right into it before we trail off into nothingness. Let's see. I'm going to start off with a few seconds for a sound test. There was some opening music cues that I blanked out for the sake of, trying to avoid some kind of copyright. So it's going to be quiet for a second, and then we'll get into it. Let me know if you can hear this, and then we will proceed.
It's 2018.
It's 2018. Again? Okay. You guys hear that okay? Let me know. Shadowclaw, hello. Hope you're doing good. 5x5 says JMK. Sound is good, says Derek LaRue. Sounds good, says Keeverdam. All right. Well, it's 2018.
And we've just moved to our beautiful office in Irvine, California.
Okay.
Our business is doing extremely well. And as the CEO, I'm living the dream.
Yeah. I imagine there's a tale of woe coming.
I've made all the right choices. And of course, I'm certain no one knows how to pick better, high quality furniture for our new office than me.
IKEA is a joke. Oh, okay. There was some business. I forget what business it was, but there's some business that was a startup, and they had such a tiny budget for furnishing their offices that I think it was like either the CEO or someone in the core team. They were driving to work. They're driving to the office one day, and they were using like fold out tables and like lawn chairs and things. And they're driving to work one day, and they saw all of these discarded doors from some construction site or some building being torn down or whatever, and they were just all stacked up next to a dumpster. And so he just drove up to the thing, talked to a guy on the side. He's like, "Are those trash?" And he's just like, "Yeah." Like, "Can I have them?" Like, "Okay." And he took all these doors and put them in his truck and drove them off to the office. And they just put these doors on sawhorses to make tables. And they were the same tables they used for years or something because they didn't have a budget for furniture. So, hey, whatever works, function over form.
You see, most high-tech companies have those untidy beanbag chairs in their lounge, and I just don't get it.
I never did either.
They're not only uncomfortable, but I also look ridiculous sitting in them, and so does everyone else. I have a rule. No beanbags in our office. Instead, I pick a nice black leather couch and a matching chair that I know everyone will love.
Okay, well, this is all very interesting, but how does your interior decorator feng shui have anything to do with your presentation? I'm dying to know where this is going.
One Tuesday morning, I'm going through my emails, and I see this email from John, who's one of our programmers.
Okay.
It's a calendar invite, but with the cheeky title, Promote John to CEO.
Oh, one of your programmers. Okay, I take it this was a joke?
The guy has a lot of nerve thinking he can do my job. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think he wants to make $1 million decisions where it's your neck on the line.
Mm-hmm.
But what if I make him the CEO? That would turn the joke back on him. Although, would I set him up for a failure, embarrass him in front of the whole company, and drive him to leave?
Or probably more likely make people question your sanity, but whatever.
We'll lose a great programmer and such an awesome colleague. Or worse, what if people like him more than me and want him to continue as the CEO? My board of directors would have to fire me.
They probably would if you just out of the blue stepped down and handed your job over to somebody. Okay, yeah.
How would I explain that to my family?
I don't know.
Since I can't decide, I go and present this crazy idea to my leadership team, and they're immediately against it. And as this go by, I keep thinking about this outlandish concept, and I didn't leave my home in Finland and move to the States just to be afraid to try something new.
Try something new. Okay. I mean, I'm hoping for his sake, for his company's sake, whatever they do, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that whatever he ended up doing actually worked, even if it sounds absolutely insane, because I wouldn't want his, his company, his livelihood to go by the wayside or anything. Has he hit on anything on the bingo card yet? I don't think so. Wouldn't that be something if we got no? I don't know. Well, let's wait and see. I don't know that him mentioning his family in the audiences counts as an anecdote, because That's not an anecdote about anything, not really.
I march back to my leadership team. I give them more reasoning, and we decide we're going to do it.
You're going to do it.
We will promote John to CEO.
Why?
A few days later, I tell John the good news. He starts laughing, thinking I'm joking, and I tell him no. 4 weeks from now, as our CEO, you'll have an unlimited budget to make one decision.
Oh, so it's like a rotating thing? Like not everybody's a CEO at the same time. I'm guessing. I'm hoping, right? Like everybody gets to be CEO for a day kind of thing and see what it's like. And everybody sort of cross-trains in that. I suppose I might be able to accept that. Zero the Hero 909, thank you so much. So there was one time I worked a large party at the bar I work for, and a girl came up and asked for pepper jack. Thanks to you, I knew exactly what she wanted. So cheers. Hey, I am glad to educate on something. If TEDx doesn't educate you on something, at least my drinking habits will do so. But that's good to know. Yeah. Did she enjoy it? Did you mix it to her preference? I guess would be the next question. But either way, thank you, Zero the Hero. Appreciate it. And hello, Ebony Williams and Tyrannus Alexandrius, the Invictus Lich. Hello. All right. So you gave John what he asked for, not permanently, right?
And it can be anything.
Anything.
As long as it makes our workplace better.
Mm-hmm.
And as he leaves the room, I can tell he's taking this seriously and he's going to work hard to make a smart decision. Fast forward 1 month later, the whole company has gathered to hear John's decision.
Okay.
He starts by saying how difficult it was to come up with just one thing.
Wait, was he really just CEO, or did you just say, you get to make a decision with the company's budget? Is that really being CEO? I know, I mean, maybe I'm splitting hairs here. It's an interesting sort of thought experiment, but he wasn't CEO for a month, right? That's not what it was, right?
The unlimited budget didn't make it any easier. In fact, it made it much harder. Finally, he says,
tell me it's beanbags. Please tell me it's beanbags.
It's time for me, John, the CEO, to reveal my decision.
Beanbags.
I hereby declare that we're gonna get beanbag chairs for our lounge.
I was right. Woohoo! This sounds like, class president or something, where it's like, I promise that if I'm elected class president, there will be a second helping of French fries at lunch. Something like that.
Before I realize what's going on, the entire floor is on their feet in a standing ovation. And I managed to fake a few laughs myself, but inside I'm thinking, if they react this strongly to office furniture, what else have I been missing?
It's novelty, dude. It's novelty and a joke, mostly, at least in that instance. Here's my question. Did you pay John the CEO's salary for the time that he was quote-unquote CEO? Okay, if everybody gets a bite at the apple in the company to make one decision, it's a novel morale-boosting concept, I guess. I'm curious to know if anybody makes a decision that is 100% nuts. Is the company obligated to pay for it? But anyway, Zero the Hero, thank you again. To the answer, yes, she kept getting them throughout the night. Oh, great. The power of Pepperjack. Pepperjack. Yes. Well, thank you, Zero. Appreciate it. Glad that I could be of some help to spread the good word of the Pepperjack.
Am I disconnected from the real needs of my employees?
They don't need beanbags. That's not a real need. Come on.
I also realized that in that moment, we've all built a whole new level of trust between John and I, because I trusted him with a big responsibility.
And he came back with beanbag chairs. Really? Okay.
And he trusted me not to judge his decision, even though it was clearly against my personal preference.
Uh-huh.
You know,
So you let an employee make a frivolous purchase on the company's dime. Okay, well, okay, here's the question then. And I don't know if you'll answer this. How did the introduction of beanbag chairs improve company performance and output? I mean, maybe it did. I don't know. Maybe sometimes a morale boost can do wonders for a company, but and beanbag chairs, it's probably fairly cheap, relatively speaking.
In our global society, trust is one of the most valuable assets we have as a human race.
Yeah.
And so often employees are not treated with the respect and dignity they deserve.
Deserve? Well, I mean, in general terms, sure, but when you're talking about like handing somebody a blank check and saying you're the CEO, quote unquote.
In the recent years, we've seen a tidal wave of people leaving their good-paying jobs. Why?
Because they were forced out due to the pandemic lockdowns and mandates. Oh, are you talking about something else?
Because they've had it.
They've had it.
It's not that people don't want to work. They just don't want to work for you.
Yeah, I think a lot of the workforce has been coddled to this point to think that they're deserving of something they haven't actually earned most of the time, or that they're never entitled to in the first place. But that might just be me being an old cranky man looking down on Gen Zers and so on.
If you don't trust them. And I have news for you. We are at the end of an era telling employees what to do.
Really? Okay, well, first and foremost, trust is earned, right? You have to sort of, it's incremental sometimes. Sometimes it's not, like somebody does something amazing and, they can be trusted and so on. But either way, we are at the end of an era telling employees what to do. So you are arguing for a, watering down of hierarchy?
And here's what I mean by that. Okay. A recent study by McKinsey shows that...
Oh, not McKinsey. God, everybody goes to some McKinsey study, and they are so lopsided.
40% of all employed workers are looking for a new job.
Yeah.
According to Gallup, only 1/3 of employees feel engaged at work. So
my feelings aren't being taken care of. Do I need to feel engaged at work in order to just make a living? I don't know. I guess I come from or were raised by people from a completely different time and perspective on employment and work.
So this basically means that almost half of all employees are browsing for new opportunities and couldn't care less about the job they're getting paid to do. And
right, which means they have no loyalty, they have no ambition, they're always looking out for the next thing. I mean, admittedly, the economy and work in general has changed drastically since the olden days. Company loyalty, brand loyalty, the idea that you're working for something like a pension, those are just completely gone in the United States, in most places. Not everywhere, but most places. That's usually what bound you to a company longer than anything else, the fact that you were earning a pension over time and be taken care of after you retired. These days, employment can be very transactional, very temporary, and so on. But I don't know. If you have a track record of changing jobs every 6 months or something, or every 2 years, is a company going to find you all that attractive and not just look at you as sort of like a contract worker? It's a weird balance.
And it gets worse. Research by Manpower shows that 69% of all companies are struggling to find workers. There are 11 million unfilled positions in the United States, according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics. So what does it mean?
I don't know. What does it mean?
Well, it means that people do want to work.
They do? Well, so there's a bunch of open jobs, but they're open. And there's a bunch of employees out there that aren't taking them. But...
And a lot of companies are hiring. But there's a mismatch between the two. Because instead of just dollars and cents, employees are now looking for a culture that fits.
Yeah, again, they've been coddled and given a sense of entitlement that probably exceeds reality or reason. That I can imagine. Have we hit anything on the bingo card? Let me go to the bingo card real quick, just because I'm not sure. Collectivize his own demographic. Not yet. Systemic institutional. I mean, he's kind of maybe hinting at it with the statistics. I guess we'll wait. Sales pitch for product or service. Well, he definitely wasn't pitching beanbag chairs, although he did put up an IKEA sign there. And I think I don't know if that technically counts. That was just a visual aid. Childhood or family anecdote? No. Diversity, equity, inclusion? No. Plays victim? No, not yet anyway. Microaggressions and conscious bias? No. Privilege? No. Contradicts own point or argument. I'm not quite sure what his argument is yet, because he's gone from let's make everybody CEO for a day to we need to have more, I don't know, perks or something for employees to make them want to work for you. Patriarchy, no. Weightless example. I guess it depends on what happens with the whole CEO thing, because he brought up this one guy. Did he continue to do that? Does it have anything to do with this? Wage gap. You'd think, but he hasn't actually brought up anything wage-wise. I mean, he's talked about dollars and cents, but that's not a wage gap. Feminism, no. Marginalized, marginalization, no. A list, not yet. White supremacy, no. Word salad, no. Self-vilification or wretchedness, no. Argumentative non sequitur, can't think of one yet. Attempt to coin new buzzword, buzzphrase, no. Mind reading assumes motives. He's kind of edging on here a little bit. Like, what do employees want? Unless he's just reciting what the studies said, because then it's not him doing it. He's, benevolent condescension. Not that I can tell so far. Anecdote that probably never happened. I can believe he made John CEO for a day and they wanted beanbag chairs, and leaves out vital context. Not sure yet. I don't know. This is kind of odd. We've gotten almost halfway through this talk, and I haven't felt compelled or a clearly defined square to be circled yet. So now, if anybody in the audience, if you guys have any arguments, hold on to them. I'm going to get through this, and then we'll see. But so far, it's kind of a nothing burger as far as the bingo card. Could we have our only second whiteout in the entire history of TED Excellence? I don't know. We'll see where he goes. Might ruin that streak here in a second, or ruin that streak anyway.
Now, how do you build that culture?
I don't know.
You don't.
Oh.
You let your employees build it.
Okay. Tell me how this improved your company's bottom line. Because now, I'm sure, well, I'm not sure, but I imagine that you and or your board actually care about the brass tacks of the business. But all right, how did this either increase productivity, increase retention, let's say, because that sounds like what you're talking about more than anything else, or improve the overall performance of your company's bottom line? Those are three things I can think of right there. Can you say that it did so? Can you draw a straight line from whatever it is these little CEO for a day things are doing to improving your company's output?
And here's how it works.
Okay.
Every month, one employee is selected to be CEO of the day.
CEO of the day, right? Are they paid? Do they have any other power? Or is it just like, okay, you get to make one decision and we'll go with it?
He or she will have an unlimited budget to make one decision to improve the workplace.
Unlimited budget. Okay. Who decides if their decision is acceptable?
Whatever the CEO decides, everyone will live with.
Whatever? Okay.
Discussion is encouraged, but the top leadership won't weigh in.
Mm-hmm.
The CEO will announce his or her decision in the monthly meeting, and after that, select the next CEO of the day. All employees will get their turn, and nobody gets to go twice. That's it. These are the guidelines, and whether you lead a team, group, or an entire organization, you can do the same thing.
You could. All right. Well, so far, what have been the grand decisions from your CEO for a day thing, which isn't actually CEO because they're not actually CEO? And And I don't know. I guess it depends on the size of the company. Can a CEO just on a whim with an unlimited budget make a decision that everybody has to abide by? There's no interference from like the board or any other executives or anything. It's just my way or the highway. I've never been a CEO, so I don't know. But unlimited budget. Okay. There's no other caveats?
And by the way, the beanbags are still in our office, and people love John's original decision. But what about the other CEOs? What have they decided?
I don't know.
In December, Alicia, who works in our people operations, realized that the ongoing uncertainty in the world can make people feel stressed or overwhelmed. Thanks to her decision, our employees have access to company-paid mental health counseling, and almost all employees have signed up.
Okay. All right. So an extra benefit for being an employee. That's not a beanbag chair. All right. Did they didn't already have medical insurance in this company? I mean, I was under the impression, I could be corrected, that mental health coverage, generally speaking, it depends on your provider, is covered in health insurance already. So this was an extra thing? Okay. And how much did that cost the company?
Sean.
No. How much did that cost the company? Okay.
One of our Arizona-based programmers likes to work from home, but what he doesn't love is cleaning it.
I don't want to clean my own house. So he paid for everybody to get maid service, right?
With his decision, our remote workers get cleaning services reimbursed up to $100.
I'm a slob, and I want the company to pay me for being a slob. Really? Okay.
See, it's much nicer and more productive to work from home when it's clean.
Clean your room? Are you kidding me? I'm too lazy to keep my own home tidy. I want the company to pay me for it. And besides $100, how much cleaning service can you get for $100?
And thanks to many other employees who've been CEOs of the day, our office is well equipped with movie tickets, monthly massage, even a beer keg.
Okay, so you're basically incrementally turning your offices into what Twitter or Google used to look like, because I think they're starting to cut down on all those perks and fringes and things. That nothing comes up as far as like an actual tangible demonstrative improvement to work processes or output or something that actually benefits the company. It's all just creature comforts for your employees on the company's dime. Okay. Well, all right. Has this overall increased the success of the company? Can you draw a line between these one-off little perks and goodies that your employees are getting for themselves? And has that led to some better outcome? Because I mean, it's your money. Or I should say, well, it is your money, but you're letting them spend it. However you want to do this, has it led to a better outcome? Can you show us that? Or are you willing to make that claim, I guess?
Okay. 2 beer kegs.
So your premier examples, beanbag chairs, I'm more of a slob and you need to pay for it, and beer. Okay.
And a company-paid Uber taking employees home after the beer tasting, just in case we need it.
Oh, and massages. Sorry, I forgot about the massages. Oh, and the movie tickets. I forgot about those.
These are all CEO of the day decisions.
Yeah.
And
these are not serious people. I hate to steal a line from Succession, but these are not serious people. If I was made CEO of the day for my company, if I had a month to try to deliberate on what I would do with a quote-unquote unlimited budget to improve the company, the last thing I would do is pick some sort of silly gimmick here's your dividend for being employee of the month kind of thing. That's just no.
I know what you're thinking. You think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
And an unlimited budget would be a showstopper in your company.
Yeah, because there's no such thing as an unlimited budget with a company that's trying to make money.
Here's what the budget has to be: unlimited. No one feels like a CEO if you give them $20 to spend.
Actually, a CEO needs to be responsible with the company's money. If you say you've got an unlimited blank check, that actually doesn't encourage responsibility. If you put somebody on a budget, then they have to deliberate over how they're going to spend that money, wisely. If you just say, it doesn't matter, whatever you want to do, unlimited shopping spree, well, then there's no discipline, there's no deliberation, nothing's put on for the responsibility to be placed on the CEO's shoulders. Operating within a budget is part of a CEO's job, conceivably. So in fact, yeah, I don't agree with this little gimmick. It sounds like a fun morale booster in a way, depending, but actually, yeah, the one aspect I definitely disagree with is the unlimited budget part.
On the other hand, if you give them $20,000, you'll bias their thinking to a numeric value, leading them to think that that's exactly what they're supposed to spend.
You mean operate within a defined budget? Yeah, heaven forfend. Thank you, John Miller. As a business manager, I highly disagree. Disagree with him or me? I don't know. I'll just take it either way. All right, you disagree with him, well, then you're probably on the same terms with me. Disagree with me, well, you wish you had an unlimited budget? I know we all do. Oh, him. Okay. I assume so, but I wasn't sure. It's like a little ambiguous. Like I shot an elephant in my pajamas. Like what? Yeah, this sounds silly, but it also sounds like none of the employees really took advantage of the quote unquote unlimited budget to a dangerous degree, unless there's an anecdote or story he's not telling us. And I believe all his anecdotes so far. So, anyway.
However, there's a way to limit the risk.
Why would you want to limit the risk? Then why say unlimited? Why say unlimited if you want to limit the risk? I thought you're just, throwing caution to the wind on this and giving the employees the power.
When I help companies to set up their CEO of the Day program,
okay, sales pitch for product or service. When I help companies set up their CEO of the Day program. Okay, well, finally got a square on the board. Might not mean much in the long run because I don't think we're going to get bingo out of this, or it'll be a pretty tough uphill climb unless he really goes off the rails here in a second. But okay, so you are a business consultant on CEO for a Day. All right.
We always form a board of directors made up of other employees.
Wait. So you come into a company that conceivably already has a CEO and a board of directors, and you come in and say, I'm going to help you start your CEO for a Day program. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a shadow board of directors for this shadow CEO for a Day that doesn't actually have the power of the actual board of directors. The gimmick becomes more gimmicky by the minute.
Before the announcement, the CEO of the Day presents his or her idea to the board, who will then approve or work with the CEO to look at all aspects of the idea.
Then what is the point of saying unlimited budget? What is the point of being CEO for a Day? But again, this is all happening separate from the actual board of directors and the actual CEO. You're just putting together a kids' table for a mock UN debate or something. And okay, and what if the board and the CEO all decide on something that's absolutely ridiculous and outside the lines of fiscal responsibility? Then what happens?
That's it. Let's talk about the numbers.
That's it. Okay, sure. Let's talk about the numbers.
The CEO of the Day has helped us grow from zero revenue to over $10 million in only 5 years.
Really? How did you arrive at that number of an extra $10 million a year?
Fast Company ranked us among the top 50 best places to work for the innovators in the United States, and ironically, we haven't spent one single penny more than we would have otherwise spent on keeping our employees happy, healthy, and engaged.
How does that math work? I'm sure that if everybody at the company will eventually get a chance to become CEO, it's probably a place that's very attractive to people. How did you arrive at this $10 million, which sounds like in the grand scheme of business, a relatively small number, $10 million benefit from the CEO for a Day program? How do you draw a direct line from that gimmick to an extra $10 million in revenue?
But the difference is, instead of spending the money on something we think they might need, we're spending the money on something they've told us they need.
They don't need 2 kegs of beer. They don't need in-store or in-office massages. They don't need cleaning services. These are not needs. These are wants. But okay.
Imagine having all employees thinking of ways to improve the company.
That doesn't... Morale. Everything you've listed off so far improves company morale. They are little gimmies. They are little gifts. They're little treats. All right? We're not talking about improving the company's infrastructure. We're not talking about a marketing strategy that's going to increase the company's profits or visibility. None of that. They're not making decisions that CEOs make. They are making class president decisions. At least of the examples you've given us so far. No one, at least the examples you've given, has given us an actual, definitive, operative benefit decision for the company. It's just perks. All you're talking about is perks.
Employees who know it's going to be their turn to make one big lasting decision, and they're thinking, how can I make this company better? This is an organization-wide cultural shift where continuous improvement isn't just in the leaders' minds. Instead, it's something everyone's thinking about.
Yeah, when I get my bite at the apple, I'm going to totally make it so that everybody gets a free fidget spinner. I really wonder, I would hope that at least 1 or 2 of the people in the CEO program actually thought of something demonstrably beneficial to the company. And I really wonder what happened when they decided to do that. Something that wasn't just a gimme, a perk. If somebody said, I want us to start, a marketing campaign to do X, Y, Z, whatever, that would actually require the other employees or require a new team to be put together, or something like that. I'd be curious to know, has anybody attempted that, and what was the result?
All the time. By the way, for a business owner, this is a game changer.
Oh, it's a game changer to give a blank check with check marks on other employees to go wild, yeah.
For the employees, it creates a feeling of connection and camaraderie. And clients love it.
Clients love it? Why?
Because happy employees make happy clients.
Right. So this is one big morale boosting program.
And here's how you get started.
Okay.
Choose your first CEO of the day.
Me. How about me?
Define an area of your company you want to improve.
But if I'm the CEO, I get to decide what to improve.
Set up a board of directors to approve the decision.
But I'm the CEO. I have the unlimited budget.
And get ready for a mic drop moment.
What?
In a company-wide standing ovation. We're at the end of an era telling employees what to do.
No, we're not. This is bread and circuses. You're talking about bread and circuses. And, maybe it will make your company a more attractive place to work because everybody thinks, oh boy, I get to be this and I get to do that. And look at all these perks any employee coming into your company now conceivably is going to benefit from all the other CEOs, quote unquote, decisions. with beanbag chairs and beer kegs and massages and movie tickets and cleaning services. Yeah, it's going to attract a lot of people to your company. Is it improving your company's overall output and success? Where did this $10 million in increased revenue come from? You didn't prove anything.
And I have a challenge for you.
Okay.
Join the revolution of companies making employees CEOs of the day and trusting them to build a culture that fits. Because when you do, you will see that by trusting your employees, you
trusting your employees through a shadow board of directors,
will earn their trust and loyalty in return. And with employees like that, there's no stopping where your business can go.
Oh.
It's time for the new era. Thank you.
Jawohl. Wow. Wowie, wow. Okay. Actually, in fact, I'll make it official.
Wowie, wow.
TEDx, what can I tell you? All right, well, there's his proposal. Boy, oh boy. This is kind of a... Speaking of weightless examples, I think this might have been one as a TEDx is concerned. Let's take a look at the card real quick. Collectivize his own demographic. I didn't detect it. Systemic institutional. Company culture. I don't know. Does that really count? I don't know. Childhood or family anecdote? No. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. No, not in the ways that you would expect. Plays victim. No. Microaggressions, unconscious bias. No. Privilege. No. Contradicts own point or argument. Yeah, I think there's another square that might apply. Let's see. Patriarchy. No. Weightless example. Weightless example. I mean, if his point was you're increasing employee happiness through this, then regardless of how ridiculous each one of these CEO decisions were overall to quote unquote improve the company, if the ultimate goal was improving morale and making the company attractive to new employees, then I guess in that sense, all the examples weren't weightless. Wage gap. No, not in the sense that it's there for. Feminism, no. Marginalization, no. A list. Yes, he gave us a list, a numbered list of here's what you do, here's how you start your own CEO project. White supremacy, no. Word salad. I understood what he was saying. There was no just, nothing corporate speak at the end, though. Even with the it's time for a new era thing, I'm like, self-vilification, no. Argumentative non sequitur. I don't think so. Attempt to coin new buzzword or buzz phrase. CEO for a day, is that a new buzz? Right? You know what? I'm gonna give it that one because that was his entire push the entire time. CEO for a day. Mind reading assumes motives. I didn't get that. He was reciting polls and studies and things from other places, so it's hard to parse out whether he was making that determination of what employees wanted or he's just going off of the results of the surveys. Benevolent condescension. The end of the era, I don't feel like it was condescending. It might have been a little bit full of hubris, but I don't know if it was condescension. Anecdote that probably never happened. He really didn't give us any anecdotes except for the CEO stuff. And I can believe that with the pattern of things that he had, beanbag chairs, massages, and movie tickets makes sense. Leaves out vital context. Yeah. How did $10 million in extra revenue result from those decisions? How do you draw that line? How do you calculate that? That's the part that I didn't buy. So anyway, let me put up the bingo card. Sorry, I forgot about that. There's this. There we go. That's what I have. Not much. I might be inclined to do a second TEDx tonight because this feels like a little bit of a short stream, but I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Let me know in the chat if you have any arguments for squares to be circled that haven't already been circled. It's still a fun, educational, critical thinking exercise, even if we don't get any bingos. Fee-wise, Wise freeze. But Scribelite, don't you realize that man is born free? Born free! But is everywhere in chains. The chains of being told to do a thing after being paid to do a thing must be broken for the good of us all. Yeah, we can't tell employees what to do, but we'll let them be CEO for a day to get some kind of candy bar stipend or something. I don't know. Derek LaRue, so to be a good CEO, get employees addicted to freebies. Got it. Yeah, get them waiting in rapt anticipation for their chance to make a decision to get a goodie. Yeah, there you go. I mean, it on a sort of base psychological lizard brain way, I guess it makes some kind of sense. I don't know if it's a long-term program you could maintain, but then word of mouth as it is, if somebody does quit, you'll have about 5 people wanting to get in on the game. So I guess you never really end. I guess retention really doesn't matter at that point. If everybody wants to work for your company, anytime a slot opens up, you don't have to worry about it so much. Bridget. I think the shadow directors would prevent decisions that would require work. Also, what if someone says they want to remove a department? Yeah, that would be my major question for the guy. Has anybody ever proposed or had enacted or attempted to enact a decision that actually changed the nature of the company in some meaningful way, either in a process way or a departmental level, or tried to fire somebody? I mean, that would be the one that I'd really be interested to hear about. Like if somebody says, I'm CEO for a day. This guy over here is a complete freeloader, and he has been ever since I've gotten here. We came in at the same time. I'm always picking up his slack. He's fired. It'll improve the company because this guy's dead weight. I wonder what would happen then if that's ever happened. I wonder what the risk would be if any other company taking on this idea ever had that. Ebony Williams, Scribelight, would you ever say wowie wow wow during sex? During? Maybe after. I could see saying something like that as an inside joke after. Now, she might be saying owie ow ow during sex in a, productive, consensual way. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's getting off into la la land there for a second. Let's see. Fi-wise, actually, if I get to remove the DEI office, maybe I could be. Oh, that would be something, wouldn't it? Now that's a good one too. Yeah, fire this guy, or let's get rid of the DEI department. That would be something. But yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot here left to do on the bingo card, guys. It was a very, very focused talk in the sense that he just kind of, gave his sales pitch more or less, and that was it. But now I feel as though 48 minutes on a TED Excellence is a bit too brief, a bit too brief. So what am I going to do? Do I do another? God, most of the TEDx's I have built up are all like 15, 20 minute. Do I have something extra? Do I have something that's different? Not necessarily a TEDx. Maybe it's just a supplementary thing. I got a whole bunch of different things on here. What shall we do? What's that? No, I don't want to do that. Oh my gosh. I got this long list of various things I've grabbed over the years. Let me go all the way down to the bottom of my list. What do I have? Something from the ancient days. I can't do that. That's just music. How long is that one? 17 minutes? No, I need something that's under 10. Sorry, guys. Live TV and all that good stuff. No. Okay, is this a TEDx thing? This is a TEDx thing. All right, that's a possibility. I just want to make sure. Sorry, I don't mean to be so cryptic. Honor to cryptic, but I just want to make sure if I'm going to pick something, it's going to be at least somewhat entertaining-ish for a minute or 7. The teaching perspective. I might as well start reading off the titles of things. Here we go. Your purpose is your protest. 9 minutes long. Okay, sure, why not? I don't even remember what this is about. I've got no context for it. I hope the audio is at least passable. Let me at least test it out real quick on my media player before I do, because sometimes I get these things and I don't check on the audio. Oh no, that's really good. Actually, that's really good audio. Okay, we're gonna do one more brief TED Excellence. I'll blank out the bingo card again, and we'll start over from scratch. Because who knows? In 9 minutes, maybe something interesting will happen. So let's see. I got to get this here and this here. Just talk amongst yourselves for a moment while I prep this. Sorry, guys. It's kind of spur of the moment kind of thing. Speaking of spur of the moment, I did a ambush stream earlier today talking about the revelations in regards to the Secret Invasion Disney Plus show about to be released at the end of the month. Great article by Bounding Into Comics. Reveals so many different key points that I had questions about and had exceptions to. But that aside, okay, is this live now? Yes, this is live. Okay, so we have something called Your Purpose is Your Protest from some unknown point in the past. As CEO for the day, I've decided to grant you all a second TEDx. So here we go. Get your bingo cards ready. Reverse on those and take off all the square or the circles. We'll see what we get. Oak Park Salon.
The 2016 presidential election.
Oh man, how old is this? Oh, we're talking about 2016. This has to be pretty old. Oh, this is a blast from the past. Are you guys hear that okay? Audio good, says Derek LaRue. All right, so 2016 presidential election, yeah.
Provoked one of the most significant social movements in modern history.
Yeah, up until the next one, and then up until the one after that, yeah.
Americans erupted across 4,021 cities, producing 27,271 protests for a kinder world.
A kinder world.
Engaging 13,616,687 people.
Wow. And the world was so much kinder after that because our political divisions were immediately cured, and a wave of understanding and camaraderie just swept over the country after that. Boy, oh boy, it was such a kinder world after that, wasn't it?
People were demonstrating for inclusion, human rights, and the environment.
Inclusion, oh my gosh, diversity, equity, and inclusion on the board. Human rights and the environment. Were they? Is that what they were doing? Okay.
Advocating for racial justice, compassionate immigration, gun reform, healthcare access.
Wow.
And education funding.
Gosh, golly gee whiz. And how much of that was covered by the Democrats when Biden took over and had the House and the Senate? Yeah, okay.
We could spend a lifetime devoted to any one of these significant social issues.
We could, and many people have. And those protests led to what movement in any of them? And I don't know. I mean, this is obviously going back in time, and I have no idea. What progress, what movement did those protests back in 2016 or in the months following the election, what changes did those actually make?
I'm not here today to talk about systemic social concerns.
Systemic? Oh my gosh, systemic on the board as well. You're not here to talk about systemic social concerns, even though that's all you've mentioned so far. Okay, what are you here to talk about?
Oftentimes when we take on big social issues, we do so to get a kind of adrenaline hit.
Oh, so there are protest junkies, you say. I can believe it.
That approach to change is unsustainable.
Oh.
It's exhausting.
Oh, it's the emotional labor.
And it can serve as a kind of distraction.
Mm.
We are each here to make a unique contribution.
Ah, well, mine is apparently to take your contribution and turn it into a contribution to my YouTube channel. At least momentarily. Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, I called my dad.
Okay.
I could tell he was angsty, frustrated. He was forecasting the future of the world and the impact to his grandchildren.
Okay, well, childhood or family anecdote, circling that one on the board. All right.
And I abruptly said, Dad, we are in the midst of a collective existential crisis.
No, we're not.
And he said, what the heck does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
And I said, here's what that means.
Mm-hmm. Let me explain to you how you should be thinking about things.
We have been in a trance. The systems and structures that have organized our reality are demanding examination.
In other words, you lost an election and you couldn't stand being a loser. I mean, that's throughout the course of the aftermath of the Trump election and presidency, that's what it felt like more than anything else. People couldn't stand the idea that they lost. They couldn't stand the idea they didn't get their way. And so they had to transmogrify their own sense of disappointment and failure into, we're being victimized by the system. Yeah, I didn't lose. I was robbed. Where have I heard that before? And why is that like somehow a bad thing now, but it wasn't back then?
The social agreements that have undergirded society are not working.
Because Trump got elected. Trump got elected through a democratic process, the same democratic process that's been in place for decades upon decades, and now everything's bad. Yeah, we didn't get our way, everything's bad. If Hillary had won by a hair, none of this would have come up from the left side of the aisle. It probably would have come up from the right side of the aisle, because that's how these things usually go. The backlash to Obama getting elected, the backlash to Trump getting elected, it goes either way. But man, oh man, everything is corrupt when I don't get my way.
We've come to understand that bigger really isn't always better.
Okay, I'm going to refrain.
The world that we're moving toward requires imagination and creativity.
You wait. So, I mean, I am stretching my mental powers here a little bit, but you think that Hillary Clinton represented innovation and creativity? Hillary Clinton was going to be as status quo, a lockstep Democratic president as ever. She was going to carry forward everything that Obama was doing, and probably worse. As packaged a politician as you could ask for. You think Hillary Clinton was going to lead to innovation? Yeah, you could put a feather in your cap. Oh, we elected the first woman president, as though that means anything functionally, except as an anecdote. But no, because Trump was elected. Everything's terrible. Everything's moving in the wrong direction. All of our systems are corrupt and bad. There's no such thing as creativity anymore. On and on. Okay.
I could hear him start to stir.
Mm-hmm.
He paused and then he chuckled.
Uh-huh.
He said, I appreciate your conviction. You know, here's the thing. We are deeply disconnected. We are disconnected from one another. But perhaps more importantly, we are disconnected from ourselves.
Oh, right. We're disconnected from ourselves. Yeah. It's not that I'm a sore loser. It's that there's this problem between all of us. Right? Okay. But everything's wrong because I didn't get my way. But it's not me, it's everybody, you see. Yeah, that's what it is.
We can no longer numb out or opt out. We can no longer just go through the motions.
Of what? What are you talking about? I mean, yes, I've been a little bit sarcastic, sardonic, and vitriolic here because this is taking me back in time to the bad old days of when I started my channel. But okay, what do you mean? Give us an example. Give us a proposed solution.
You know, one of the most radical things that you may do in your lifetime
Is wear sneakers with a dress? Oh.
is honor your unique purpose.
Oh, honor my unique purpose. What is my unique purpose?
Your purpose is a living protest.
My purpose is a living protest. Boy, you know, that sounds exhausting.
It's a movement toward what matters.
Matters to me? What if what matters to me doesn't matter to you or is in direct opposition? Then would you still encourage me to pursue my purpose?
The word protest means to declare something firmly and emphatically in the face of doubt.
In the face of doubt? Okay.
Have you ever experienced doubt?
I mean, Philip Seymour Hoffman was pretty good, and Meryl Streep was also pretty good. So yes, I have.
Within yourself or
Oh.
from another person?
Oh, no. Obviously not. Me doubt myself? Are you kidding me? Oh, no.
Have you ever had a dream and then been told it was not possible?
Yes, I wanted to be president of the moon. Ah, those jerks.
What do you want to create in this world?
What I want to create. Oh, man. I mean, I've always, this just came to me. One of the things I've always sort of in the back of my mind wanted to create is to find something, some idea, some concept that drove me forward into actually writing a book. Just one book. If I just get one book, one story, one idea that just really captured me and had me put that much effort in and really get passionate about. Hasn't happened yet, as far as I know. And this is something else, and just as a side tangent, there's a Gary Cassell over on Pop Culture Minefield, and several other people as well, have the mistaken notion that I'm a writer. And so every time that I've ever like said hello on the channel or something, he'll cite me as being a writer or something, and I cringe slightly because like I'm not a writer. I haven't written a published work in my life, at least in like an officially published work or anything. I used to write short stories and things like that, and but all stuff that was just in service to like a role-playing game I was involved in, or writing scripts for videos and stuff like that. But being like a writer, I don't think I'm a writer until I've like, started working on an actual long-term process of a story or something. And so I always get a little, it's just what was it Mark Twain thing, give a man a reputation that he's an early riser and that man can get up at noon, that kind of thing. I somehow I've gotten a reputation just maybe because of my nickname, Scribe. I mean, I want to write more. I like to write. I like to create something that is memorable in a writing sense as a book or a story. That's what I want to create. Want to. Will I?
What do you want to create in your world?
Yeah.
What is the unique purpose you're here to offer?
I don't, okay, this is getting, speaking of existential threats, that's an existential notion. I don't know. I don't know what my quote unquote purpose is. Live my life, try to make the best of it, try to help people along the way, not bother anybody, and I don't know, have a pepper jack from now and again. I don't know.
It's time to rise up as a protest for your own freedom. To rise above the doubt and opposition that lives within you, and the doubt and opposition that lives in the status quo. You're not here for survival. See,
this sounds like such, self-help kind of guru stuff. Now, she's not wrong in that self-doubt is inherently defeatist. And yes, when it comes down to things like, I wish I could write a book, I have to get over my own self-doubt. That's true. That's true. That is a universal truth about trying to achieve anything, create anything, and so on. So on that point, on that sentiment, I'll agree. Yes, I should try to, do away with my self-doubt and push forward into something, even if I don't have that much confidence. I should just keep doing it anyway. Yeah, well, here I am in another TEDx talk.
When I was a little girl, I knew I was going to be a rock star.
Are you?
I was going to travel the world singing on stages.
Did you?
And then I became a young mother.
Oh, you just became. Okay.
And I started to feel the demands of convention and the pressures of success.
Because you had to care for someone outside of yourself and think about somebody else's needs before your own. Yeah, that's welcome to parenthood, or at least good parenthood.
And so I shelved my dreams and aspirations.
That's what happens when you decide to have a family. Yeah.
And I went into banking. I spent 15 years in banking.
Okay, well, I mean, it sounds like a wise move when you have a dependent.
I learned a lot during those years.
Good.
One of the things I learned is that banking is not my purpose. I bounced around from...
No. It's your job. It's how you make a living. It's how you support yourself and your child. This is called self-sacrifice. This is called compromise. When you find yourself in a situation that requires you to put something of yourself behind in order to serve somebody else who needs you, that's called being an adult. It's growing up. That's what it's called. Not your purpose. Your purpose is to raise and take care of your child at that point. You were doing that, even if it wasn't fun. You think everybody who's had a job thought it was fun when they knew they had to keep it going in order to support their family? Yeah, there's a certain amount of admiration to be had in that. But okay, all right, it wasn't your purpose. So what did you do?
I bounced around from the investment bank to underwriting to the retail bank.
Oh my gosh, so you learned a lot about the banking industry and you cross-trained and you advanced in your knowledge in banking. Good. And I'm assuming that with each move, you incrementally increased your take-home pay to support yourself and your child?
And finally, in 2012, I said to my husband, I cannot do this another day.
Okay.
And I left.
You just quit. Okay. Was your husband working? I hope. Fingers crossed.
We had no savings.
So 15 years in banking, cross-training over every department, and you never picked up the notion of setting up a savings account. No savings. A husband, a wife, I don't know if it was one kid or two. She said she, became a mother. Could be many. I don't know, but no savings. And you decide to quit your job. Boy, oh boy. Did they teach you anything at that bank?
No game plan.
No savings, no game plan. I can't do this anymore. Okay, we've gone from anecdotally a kind of maybe almost admirable, like, well, I gave up on my dreams to support my family and I did all this and I advanced through and now it's like, okay, I'm just fed up and I'm done. So putting the welfare of your family at risk because you have no savings and you have no game plan, but you just know you're done. Okay, how did that work out?
We were raising 4 kids.
Wow, holy cat. Lady, you've got 4 kids and you're just fed up. And she just quit. No savings, no game plan. Are you kidding me? I'm assuming you're not kidding me. Okay.
My husband had just completed graduate school.
But he wasn't even employed. Oh, good. Great. So he's probably got college debt, right? He doesn't even have a career established yet. That's the time you decide to throw up your hands and quit. with 4 kids to feed. Are you okay? All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I I picked a doozy on this one. All right. So what happened next? I am enthralled now. I'm also going to circle, just for the sake of it, wage gap, because she created one for herself. Also plays victim because, oh no, I had a steady and situated career for 15 years and just decided to give up because I just can't take it anymore. Okay.
Conventional wisdom would suggest that this was a terrible idea.
Yes. Yes. It does. It would. It was. And so
I'm now an ordained minister.
I'm
a coach. I'm a consultant.
Okay, so if I knew your backstory of decision-making prowess, why would I hire you to consult me? There used to be a square on the board that said something to the effect of should not be in their occupation or something, unqualified for that occupation. I kind of wish that square was still here. Kind of do.
I support human beings and organizations in asking bigger questions.
Like, should I quit my job with no safety net when I'm raising 4 children? Gosh, how would you consult that person today? If someone came to you with your story, if someone came to you with your exact same story, would you advise them to just throw caution to the wind with 4 kids to feed?
And giving a greater sense of what matters.
Obviously, not the long-term well-being of my 4 children.
I've developed a kind of formula
Oh.
that's helped me along the way.
Okay.
It helped me find my purpose, and
Yeah.
it keeps me on purpose.
Okay. What does your husband do for a living now? What there's a whole swath of this story that's missing. Like, what happened in the immediate aftermath of you just cutting off your income and putting the burden onto your husband who just got out of graduate school?
Aliveness plus contribution equals purpose.
Aliveness plus contribution equals purpose. You were alive and you were contributing to the family household with your banking job to help support and raise your children. That was your purpose. Especially when you decide to have 4 kids. They become your purpose if you're being a responsible adult. But okay, anyway.
Aliveness can be found by asking yourself a few simple questions.
Have I ever heard of aliveness before? Do we want to call that a buzz? I'm going to call that a buzzword. You know, this is a short one. I'm calling that a buzzword, buzz phrase. Aliveness, or at least maybe just the combination of this concept here. Buzz phrase. We'll call it's a buzz phrase. Aliveness. How do I know if I have aliveness, everyone? Is it if I put my hand on the back of my neck and it's warm?
What causes my energy to rise? When do I feel a sense of expansion? When does it feel like time and space can disappear?
Oh, watching a TEDx, man, I tell you, the time just flies.
Who am I with? What am I surrounded by?
Well, let's see. I've got a computer. I got a whole bunch of DVDs on a shelf. I got my. Here's a secret to my success. I'll give you this real quick. So, the room I'm sitting in has a gigantic set of windows in front of me. It just it's terrible for trying to make a studio. I don't have a room in my apartment that could really function as a studio. But in trying to mitigate the sound quality and the echo in the room, I got some of those, you know, you see those little foam squares you see on other live streamers that they have on the wall and all that kind of thing. So I got a couple of those, but I was really like strapped for cash at the time when I started this for those kind of things. So I had to improvise. And how did I improvise? Well, at the time, I would go to Starbucks for my company every day. I make a Starbucks run. And I usually get 1 or 2 drink orders. And I come back and I have one of those little drink carriers. And I didn't know what to do with them, so they just kind of stacked up, and occasionally I threw them into the recycle bin. Well, after a while, when I started doing YouTube, I was like, I need some more sound suppressing thing. Hey, what if? And so you can't see it. Maybe I'll take a picture at some point and share it somewhere. But in order to try to make my own sound suppression system, several portions of my wall and corners of this room are lined with thumbtacked drink carriers from Starbucks, just turned outwards, so like all the little bottoms of the drink things are pointing out. And I put them into patterns, like there's like little plus patterns and lines on the wall and things. I have no idea if they work at all. I have no idea. But you know, I improvised because, you know, I tried to MacGyver it. But yeah, it makes my studio unique. That's what it does. Oh, that's what I'm surrounded by. Sorry, that's why I brought that up. I'm surrounded by, if I just said I'm surrounded by Starbucks drink carriers without any context, you guys would be going like, what? That's why.
Contribution can be discovered by asking, what do I want to give to?
My bank account.
What do I want to support?
My 4 children.
What takes me outside of myself and has me feel like I'm part of something bigger?
My family?
When you combine aliveness and contribution.
Yeah, except that your entire story was about selfishness. You gave up a long-standing, I'm assuming, well-paying career if you're effectively supporting 4 children and a husband in graduate school, because you couldn't take it anymore. That's not contribution. That's selfishness. I mean, I'm hoping you and your family were able to make it. I'm assuming so. You found a way. And so good for you on that score, at least. But at that moment, in that decision, you weren't finding purpose. You were trying to placate your own self.
You will find yourself in the pocket of purpose.
Uh-huh.
I now surround myself with friends that live their purpose as a kind of daily protest.
You surround yourself with people who think the way you do. I'm shocked.
My good friend Matthew Hoffman started a passion project in 2002 with 100 stickers in Chicago.
Okay.
He operated that project out of a 2-car garage until 2018.
Okay, so 16 years. You said 2002, right? So he spent 16 years in a garage selling stickers? Okay. Or I don't even know what the project is, but it had to do with stickers.
When he opened the You Are Beautiful headquarters.
Okay. All right. And?
Matthew has since circulated over 7.5 million stickers in 119 languages around the world. This project started as an anonymous project that was intended to just interrupt human beings walking down the street, to remind us that to experience beauty, we don't just have to buy something and put it on us.
Does Matthew sell these stickers now? He turned it into a business, right?
He wanted a benign reminder that you are beautiful.
Oh, that's a very nice sentiment. I can appreciate that on sort of a Hallmark card, genuine passive kindness sense. Okay. But then he turned it into a business, right? For profit?
Exactly as you are.
What if I voted for Trump? What if I voted for this corrupt system and everything else? Am I still beautiful, you think, in your eyes?
See, I think that three things that we could remember as we're navigating this inquiry is defining what really matters,
Your 4 children.
and then finding a purpose to contribute.
The taking care of and raising your children.
And affecting social change.
Raising your children to be good people.
We may
Oh, that's a list. 3 things to remember. Yeah, that's a list. Circling that one. Oh boy. I'm going to keep harping on that one because that story has a lot more details to it that I'm just too curious about.
not deter
Sorry, I cut her off. Let me back up a little
social
bit.
change. We may not determine your purpose today, but we can incite it.
Ooh, we can? Okay, well, I've been waiting, at least as far as this presentation, nearly 8 minutes. Okay, incite my purpose.
We can invoke curiosity, and that is always the beginning of change.
Uh-huh. Why do I need to change? How do you know I need to change? And boy, my pause game is on point because...
As I have spent more and more time wondering about my unique purpose, I've discovered that I love to gather human beings in unexpected encounters and shake up what people think they know.
Are they paying a ticket to get into this gathering?
I have produced over 300 live events.
You know, I don't know how many live events I've produced now, but I've produced several, maybe a couple hundred live events. Hey, you and me, we're like contemporaries.
Bringing together some of the most prolific artists and thinkers, all in service of disrupting the inertia of the status quo.
Boy, oh boy, and I've never heard of you before. All right, how have they disrupted the status quo? I know we're not going to hear it. I've brought together, or starting to bring together, many talented people from one particular genre. That is my series, Living on Borrowed Crime, where I try to bring on true crime content creators to talk about their craft and everything else. The next episode, by the way, is coming up next weekend, as in June 10th, Saturday, at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, where I'll have on The Disturbing Truth, Dave's Lemonade, and Stay Awake, scheduled to appear. So just a little plug there.
It's time.
It's time
to rise above the opposition and doubt that lives in you.
And just throw away a 15-year-long career. Is that what you're advising? Just, hell with it. I'm done.
That lives in the status quo and is oriented around survival.
How did you survive without an income?
The world needs your aliveness now more than ever. When one of us lives more freely, humanity itself becomes freer. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. I think I'm going to call that word salad, or at least bits and pieces therein as word salad. Okay. Well, there's supplemental TEDx number 2. Let me put that up on the board here, see where we're at. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to go over the card one more time by myself, and then I will take arguments for squares to be circled. Collectivizes own demographic. Not that I know of, not that I can recall. Sales pitch for product or service. Yes, she's a consultant. She's a coach. I put together these things. I'm a minister, etc. Yeah. So put that one up there. Microaggressions, unconscious bias. I know this might be a bit of a stretch. I'm going to say the whole spiel on self-doubt is, after a fashion, an unconscious bias against oneself or one's own self-interests. I know I might be stretching a bit, but I don't think. Privilege, no. Contradicts own point or argument. Yeah, like she tried to make this greater purpose thing, but when her decision was completely out of self-interest and without a care for the possible fallout to other people in her orbit who had no say in the matter and certainly could not defend themselves, 4 children, and a just now graduating husband. So that felt a little hypocritical. Patriarchy, no. Weightless example. Weightless example. The 2016 election. That whole thing felt so disconnected from everything that followed it. It just, I don't understand what that was supposed to tell us. And the whole protest thing, it doesn't. Feminism, no, not specifically. Marginalization, no. White supremacy, no. I mean, you could argue the whole protest against the systems and things, but she didn't bring it up specifically. Self-vilification or wretchedness, amazingly enough, no. Amazingly enough, no. No, she was never the bad guy, even when she made a ridiculously silly decision. Argumentative non sequitur. Argumentative non sequitur. I might need some help with that one. Mind reading assumes motives. Yeah, you know my purpose. Everybody was there was a lot of assumptions about what people were doing or what her motivations are, or what the world needs, and so on. Benevolent condescension. Did I feel she was being condescending? I'm trying to think if there was a moment where it was condescension. I don't feel like there was. She seemed sincere in what she was saying. I don't know if there was any condescension, though. Anecdote that probably never happened. I can believe that she just up and quit her job one day without a plan. I mean, it's difficult to believe someone would admit something that silly and reckless and then try to like spin it into something positive without it being a true statement. And I think that's the only anecdote she gave, really, aside from her. Well, actually, no, the stamps, the stickers guy. That was the only other anecdote she gave. But I can believe that one happened too. That doesn't sound false to me. That actually might be an argumentative non sequitur. Actually, yeah, that is. What did that have to do with anything? It took him, 16 years to go from just randomly guerrilla style posting stickers around town to turning it into a business. And then what? Was it successful? Has it been? Why? Okay. Let's see. And lastly, leave out vital context. Yeah. What happened after you quit your job? What did your husband say? How did you, you're talking about we can't just be survival. How did you survive without a steady income? You must have done something to survive. You changed careers, obviously, but in the meantime, what? And how is that supposed to be an example for the rest of us? All right, so there you go. No bingos yet, but obviously if you guys have some arguments for squares to be circled, we might get there. I'll go on for a few minutes here. Let's see. Faithless, she condescends that she can incite their purpose just on meeting someone. Oh, yeah. I can incite your purpose. I mean, that might be a bit more hubris. I don't know. Is that condescension? Is that condescension? Yeah, it was close. Close. A guy in his room, condescension about Trump voters, that's probably stretching it. I mean, there was the implication that everything fell apart because she didn't get her way. Is that yeah, maybe. Let's see. Tyrannus, you can see her how she sparkles. She's the last unicorn. I'm alive. Yeah, aliveness. Do you have aliveness? Let's see. Faithless. They need to find a person. I guess that's true. She's assuming facts, not an evidence of people that they don't already have their purpose and that she can. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll give you that. All right. That's true. Like I can't figure it out on my own, or whatever I'm doing doesn't align with you, or because Trump became president, then I need to rethink how I'm moving through the world if I happen to vote for him, or something like that. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll give you that. Any other arguments? Boy, we are just on the edge of a couple of bingos here, but I don't know without major stretches. Fee-wise, her empty rhetoric's context is dark. Do not doubt Hillary Clinton 2016 was a terrific choice. Needs zero introspection. Quit your job and double down on those deplorables. Rhetoric's context is dark. Well, again, it just sounded like rationalization after the fact of I didn't get what I wanted. I lost. And it really, that all felt, is it just me, or did everything feel like padding around the real revelation that she decided to just up and quit her job without a plan? As though somehow what happened with the Trump election and where she ended up, like, makes that make sense or justifies it or something. I don't know. I mean, if she's in a better place now, career-wise, if her family's safe and sound and everything, if she's encouraging people to follow their creative dreams and all that good stuff, that's fine. She could have just done a presentation on that, but a lot of it sounded really, really copium to me, and that, I don't know if that term was actually in existence at the time that she recorded this, but there you go. Let's see. I've got some other things here. Let's see. Derek Lewis, stop spending time worrying about your purpose and save your money. Has she learned her lesson on savings? John Miller, her quitting when she was the sole breadwinner for 6 months to feed. Yeah, I know. 6 mouths to feed. Yeah, that was bizarre. That seemed like that was burying the lead of the story a little bit, right? She tried to make it sound so empowering and like I'm finding my purpose. I'm like, that doesn't sound like you sounds like you're disregarding your parental responsibilities more than anything else. But what do I know? And Ebony Williams, do you think this is some midlife crisis? That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. I mean, especially when she brings up, I was going to be a rock star and then I became a mother. I'm assuming this was not planned then, or, and then just I can't do this anymore. Well, why don't you tough it out until your husband can find a job and support the family, and then you can, because I could see that as a trade-off, right? I mean, many families have done that. Like, one spouse works while the other one completes their education. And then once the education is completed, that spouse then starts up a career. And then slowly there's a transition where the other spouse takes over because the first spouse was funding their education for a better life for the family. That would make sense. She couldn't have waited another 6 months or a year or something until the husband was bringing in an income, presumably. Yeah, anyway, sounds like a midlife crisis. Sounds very selfish, sounds very short-sighted, but hey, if she's in a better place now, all right. Anyway, I don't think we're going to get a bingo out of this one. She was relatively focused and didn't go on to a lot of other subjects. Collectivized zone demographic, not in any meaningful way. Privilege, no. Patriarchy, no. Feminism, marginalization. White supremacy, self-vilification, certainly not. And of the anecdotes that she gave us, none of them sounded fully self-serving. Like I said, she had to spin a bad one into something positive, which was really tough to swallow. And then the other ones were effectively non-starters. So I think that's about it. But there you go, guys. There's our double feature, unexpected double feature. Become a CEO for a day and find your purpose through aliveness and contribution. Some things resonate more than others, but that's the show. Everyone, I want to thank you so much for joining me for this unexpected double feature. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. On the way out, if you would hit that like button, I hear that helps the algorithm somehow, some way. Also, again, next Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern will be another TED Excellence. I'll take a look at another off-brand TED Talk or two, depending on the circumstances. Again, to remind, June 10th, Saturday, June 10th at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, I'll have on for Living on Borrowed Crime, The Disturbing Truth, a.k.a. Mr. Black Pasta, Stay Awake, and Dave's Lemonade to talk about true crime and all that good stuff. The Sunday stream, yes, it's going to return this Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, where I'll talk about The that I'll decide then. I have a couple of ideas, but we'll see how things hash out. The news could break tomorrow that the Supreme Court has made their decision on affirmative action. I might spend a whole Sunday stream just reading the decision if that were to happen. I don't know. We'll find out as time goes on. But with that, everybody, thank you for joining me. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things. Even though everyone here is so well behaved, you have very, very little to do. Everybody who donated, either to myself or to the fundraisers at the top of the chat box, thank you guys so much for your generosity. Really do appreciate it. Before I leave, how'd you like to join the Discord? Yes, I have a Discord now. And as soon as I can actually get the Discord link to populate here, yes, copy the Discord link and then paste it. Yes, there we go. All right. Discord link is in the chat. If you'd like to join the Discord, all you have to do is click on that link. You'll find yourself on the landing channels called Say Hello. And then after that, all you have to do is give the secret word. The secret word will tell me and my moderators that you watch the show, are an actual audience member, and that you paid attention. And today's secret word is aliveness. Yes, just say aliveness, and you too will become a member of the Discord server. But with that, everybody, thank you so much again for joining me. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I hope you all find your purpose on Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you're all safe and well. If you are not well, please get well soon, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.